Galadriel. This is great. All of her gifts for the Fellowship. So the cloaks, the limbus bread, the box for Sam, the vial. Oh, and all of her strands of hair. Gimli will be thrilled.
Things breaking down. This is match 3 of 4, day 2 from the NA Regionals. And remember, we still got Europe coming up. So if you haven't hit that follow button, subscribe to the channel, follow right now, and lock in. We got the game loading up here in just a moment. Our casters are going to be taking the desk, but I want to get your final thoughts here, I Hold Shift. You're coming in 5 versus 5, must-win scenario for ARP.
Yeah.
Hardpoint, search and destroy, control, a mix of all three. How do you get it done?
It has to be a mix of all three. I think this has to be like a 2-4-5 for them. I don't see them particularly doing well in the standoff control, but I do like ARP's chances on standoff search. The Hacienda hardpoint is also one that I think DICE is going to love to see. They've played it twice so far, so they're definitely getting their reps up on it. This feels like it's going to have to be a 2-4-5 series here for ARP.
ARP with Yawn going up against his former team in DICE. We got Bobby Plays and I Hold Shift making their way over to the caster booth, and while you do it, it's another caster challenge. This time for Bobby Plays, please rank the top 5 snipers in CODM NA.
CODM NA. I mean, obviously Washi's got to be up there, playing for one of the top squads in Luminosity. I don't think we can call them definitively the top squad anymore. After that, I don't know. I mean, Little B used to be up there, but he's washed now.
Did you see Noah absolutely cook him on the TL the other day?
I mean, that's like a daily occurrence.
Yeah,
oh my god,
there's nothing surprising there. I'm kind of blanking on snipers. Detry looked phenomenal. He was absolutely cooking up against Luminosity, but he's going to have to step up big time now.
Space? Would you put Space up there?
I would put Space up there. He hasn't really been consistently in that sniper role, which is one of the reasons I'm kind of hesitant to do that. But I would say I'd probably put him up there. What teams are... Rihan, when Rihan's on, I would say he's up there as well. So...
Fair. That's a tough question, honestly.
That is a tough question. I was not prepared for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been either, so props to you. But the thing about this is, and again, we don't know, like, what did ARP lose versus 6 Kings?
Yeah.
I have a suspicion they lost the 1-4-5. Obviously, they lost the 5th map because they lost at 5. But I have a feeling that ARP dropped both hardpoints.
I would guess you're probably right on that one. And I'm just now remembering, we actually had an ARP DICE matchup in Stage 3 as well. That DICE won 3-0. So, coming into this one, it's a lot of things going against ARP. Right now, Chelsea set up on the outside, and it seemed like maybe a little lack of communication there for DICE as she finds a freebie. Going to be able to find another one as they break on through, and ARP find their way to the hard point.
Yeah, it's a really peculiar break-off for ARP. From the favored side, they throw 2 players through Rock to contest Open Hall.
Welcome to the stream,
it gives
guys.
us so much time as DICE are just able to freely get into Fountain, and now they've got the ability with these spawns towards Rock side just to play the entire hardpoint from this open side of the map and then move in towards Lambo. So for DICE, this is kind of a perfect situation as a start. ARP have a chance to try to contest some of this late time at the old hardpoint, but ultimately speaking, DICE have come out majorly on top of this opening setup.
Nice setup in the backside for Size to go ahead and anchor those spawns toward driveway. Chelsea shut down on the push on in. And Awaken's going to be there to reinforce things in the hard point. So they go ahead, spawn out toward Rocks. Aerith able to shut down one. Goes ahead and retreat. Now puts Detry in a tough position to take the long-range gunfight. Veterans there to assist. And push from that water side is here for ARP, but got to find an entry. Perfect. And Veteran is there to make it happen with 3.
Yeah, absolutely perfectly done from the flank. Getting over towards the top of jump, but DICE will spawn close. And oh my goodness, Hax just stays alive forever. Kimwax trying to contest, but ultimately shut down. Veteran from the front. Okay, another 3-piece in the mix. Reload stops him from finding more, but Detry gets in and ARP will break from the front.
And Veteran was one of those players that, especially in Stage 3, I felt like had stepped up in a way that we hadn't really seen him do before. Maybe some of his not best performances in the last couple of games, but he's definitely stepping up in a big way as he finds 2 of those triple kills off the start. Unfortunately for him, it's better teamwork for DICE as they lock in a big chunk of that hard point time, but scraps are there for ARP.
Yep, not bad. Kind of a 30-30 swap there for both of our 2 teams. So not really a win or a loss for either side, but we rotate over towards fences. DICE are in position early. Not going to have much of a look here towards the top side of Office. Just kind of holding from the inside of it as both Hax and Aerith are just going to play a crossfire setup. Veteran from the front once again creating problems early, though. Dice will create space topside, but ultimately ARP still went out, and they're going to get into the hard point first.
Ooh, risky pop of the Purifier. I think Veteran actually lost it right there. See if he gets any charge back on it. Teabag looking to clear out the final player, but it's going to be Chelsea getting the better of the gunfight, and ARP continue to build on this lead, largely at the hands of Veteran. Heavy slaying power for them. Kimwax locking things down from the top side. War Machine shots connect at least partially. And Kimwax not going to be able to spot out Hacks, but Veteran there for the trade once again.
So it's not bad at all for ARP, though. They haven't lost control of office side since their initial push through. Yeah, there's some contests going on, but ultimately speaking, ARP have looked really solid in breaking down this Dice initial setup, and they're already throwing some members on rotation over towards News. So it'll be a 1v1 battle for the scrap. That does go the way of ARP. Over towards the new hard point, there's a chance here for Dice to have a couple of members here early, but they're still spawning towards the old hills. This will be a 50-50 battle as we open up our Rock Hill.
Two players looking to push in. Detry takes the boxing glove to the face there. Yawn still on the bottom side, locking down the water. Heck's going to be able to hit some shots through there. He's one player I felt like needed to step up. A couple of lackluster performances out of him in their last couple of games, but he is popping off right now. Detry on the bottom side, though, going to be pesky and tough to deal with. Aerith pushes on through on the top side. One more opportunity. It's actually going to be Teabag taking down the final player with the Annihilator in hand.
Yeah, really well done there. The combination of the Annihilator and the Purifier to shut down the majority of the push from ARP from the back. Veteran did a nice job over through Lambo, but he was the only player on the other side. He was looking for a pinch and is never able to come through thanks to the operators from Dice. So they'll claim the lead. Not going to be able to do much with the Predator missile. Trophy system blocking the majority of it, but Dice are still in the hard point for this back 15 seconds. Detry trying to change that. Awaken's 1 HP just in front of him, but Hack's trying to step in to block. Not really going to work out. Awaken the last player left, and ARP does find a way to get the final couple of kills. So we'll exit our first rotation of hills. 84 playing 69. Dice in the lead, and they're also cleaning up the exits here towards Old.
Well played by Teabag. A couple of crucial kills to give them that topside control early. Detry slides through, but you got to win that gunfight. SMG up against an LMG in the close range. There is no excuse there. Teabag still trying to catch players, pushing on through. It does exactly that. Kimwax shut down to the top side, and it's starting to get very blue in the feed right now as Dice seeming to grab the horns of this game.
The last thing you want if you're ARP is to be hitting through this mid connector. You want to get some high ground control. Teabag's already in position to stop the majority of those windows from being points of contest. So ARP not really working with a lot of great ground here, and Dice continue to just barely eke out the kill feed into their name. Veteran trying to sneak in, but he gets flashed up, and Dice will get the cleanup kills. Big swing over towards this first hard point. Going to be about a 40-point game or so as we rotate over towards Lambo. And, well, ARP will have the initial setup, but keep your eye. Number 4 in blue saves it's gotten around the back.
Right now, it seems like ARP kind of abandoning most of their strategy and just kind of panicking, trying to make their way into the hard point. They have not had many bright spots since that first rotation over to P2. Right now, Hacks looking to push on in, but it's the War Machines doing the damage on both sides. An absolute bloodbath in there. Looks like Dice will be the ones that get the better of it.
That was literally an overhead view that Michael Bay would blush at, dude. It was explosions all over the place. ARP still spawning close, but follow-up operators now out for Dice, trying to stop this play from the back end. Saves does well to get the Sparrow another connection. ARP stacking up. Here comes their break attempt. 3 from the front, 2 through Trophy. And the kills start to come the way of ARP. Couple members left to find in the back. Hack's able to get a double. He's been so survivable. And Awaken working with them. That will be a 2v5 hold for Dice.
ARP spawn out towards rocks. Once again, an attempted push on in, but Veteran dealt with immediately. Size now looking to hit rotation right here. Awaken should be able to find free time as the rest of the ARP players not even going to look to contest right here. And we've seen this lead build from what was basically a tie now all the way up to 90 points with very little increase from this ARP squad. Looking like they're starting to hit panic mode, especially being in the spot that they're in, down 2-0 right now. They cannot afford to lose composure.
No, not at all. And the thing about this Dice team, we watched them play Risen on this map, and Hacks did stuff like that all game long, where he was the last one left and just survived forever. So 168 plays 96. ARP had the initial setup over towards fences, but is immediately broken down. Spawns are still good, though. Says is going to have to hold his life towards top office while the rest of DICE tries to funnel from the front. Veteran slides in, doesn't quite catch the timing, though, and DICE with the Predator missile will once again have at least an opportunity to neutralize the kill feed. Spawn's still good for ARP, but they're having a real tough time getting through number 4 in blue, who Says eventually, who does drop. Kimwax getting to work from the top side of stairs, but DICE are now in from the front, and they have done so well on this hill.
Big kill for Kimwax to at least get some time locked in here for ARP. Veteran going to be left there to pick up the scraps. Kimwax, big gunfight up against Teabag on the backside, but he gets away with his life, and right now it's going to be chaotic over on P4. Yawn set up, finds the early kill right there, but Hacks there to trade back, and once again it's DICE with solid positioning, especially with size up in top office.
I mean, DICE just play the map so darn well. Chelsea does find 2, creates a space here for ARP to try to hit from the front side of Lambo. Only one member in the hard point at the moment. That's going to be Hacks, who's got the claw out. Kimwax, again, I would say Kim has had a handful of war machines. This is number 3, but the problem is it only finds a single kill. ARP still use it as a chance to get Veteran in. He's going to try to keep his life while he's off the regen, but Hacks, he must be one of the most aggressive ARs that we have right now in North America. He's always one of the first players in and continually finds kills, and with that, DICE will break and now have a chance to put this game out of reach.
Pretty split spawns for ARP. They're now over toward Waterside, but nobody's dealt with Aerith. Somebody's got to clear her out, but they don't have an answer. 3 before she drops. It's just these DICE players taking turns on who's going to pop off, and ARP struggling to keep up. Chelsea round the corner, doesn't hit a bullet. She shuts down as well. And the Veteran Purifier in the top side going to go to waste as kill after kill going the way of DICE. They got the solid top side set up and are now in position to go ahead and win this on P1.
Yeah, it just, again, you had mentioned it when we were here last. It's like the first rotation of Hills is pretty darn tight, and then we got through the second set of Lambo, and DICE just absolutely turned it to 11. And now Saves will put this game well within win condition. With the Sparrow finding a lot, you've got full streaks out for Says. Hacks is at 35, or 34, pardon me. It just, DICE is in control from start to finish, it's felt like.
Yep. And it seemed like they were going to put up a solid fight. At one point, they held a little bit of a lead, but it just seemed to be one point where the threads started to come unraveled, and boy, did it unravel quickly. DICE now sitting up 1-10 in this one as they look to close things out right here. Veteran doing everything he can to prolong the inevitable. Teabag's going to be able to spot out the final kill right there, and that's DICE with a convincing map 1 win.
Yeah, not good news here for ARP. And again, we don't know what happened in their series versus Six Kings, but my suspicion is that they're not playing good hardpoint right now. And based on what we saw right there, it kind of feels like that very well may be the case. Now, again, I expect very fully that that was the selection for DICE to bring into the map pool, but still, there are just so many moments where it looks like DICE are about to get overwhelmed, and it's that man right there. Dude, Hacks has to be one of the most composed ARs that we've seen so far from North America. He will get into the hard point, and he'll keep his life for what feels like forever with a Holger, brother. I mean, come on.
Yep, he was making crucial plays on every single point. And honestly, it's a lot of that play style with the Holger that we see from Gothillia over in Europe.
That's a good comparison.
The inside of the objective where you don't typically see those slower weapons, but because their timings with the pre-fires are so solid that the opposition doesn't have a chance to fire back. Aerith, couple crucial kills for a nice feed on that water side to get things cleaned up, and I would say she looked a lot more comfortable in that AR position as well.
Yeah, and there could be something about just having a conversation with your other ARs on the map. Like if Hacks is going to say, yo girl, I'm going to be in the hard point, you just lock down a lane, let our SMGs fly around, and that seems to be kind of the case. I mean, Hacks gets almost a minute 30 inside the hard point. Aerith only gets about a minute, which is still good, but it's just one of those things that sometimes you just have to make the conversation happen. Like, hey, looking over the VOD, we're watching the same stuff, or we're playing too separated from our SMGs. Let's get together, have a little kumbaya conversation, and then figure it out. And I think you're right. I think she looked much more comfortable on that particular map, and it's a good start here for DICE.
One thing I just realized is that ARP versus Six Kings match was actually a grudge match for Mago, who had spent an entire month with that ARP squad in a gaming house, getting ready for stage 4, got dropped, got picked up by Six Kings, took them down in stage 4. That's what it's all about.
I feel like every other match we have is like a revenge match for somebody.
It is, because everybody, I think with the exception of Luminosity, every single roster had a major change.
Yep.
So there we go.
Byproduct of North American roster mania exists across every form of Call of Duty. Now we've got Meltdown, map number 2 though. And if you're ARP, you can't go down 0-2 in this map set. So it feels like this is going to be kind of a must-win scenario for them. The thing about it is, do they even have any sort of composure here? After dropping a map 5 versus 6 Kings, getting blown out of the water in map 1 here, it feels like, you know, the boat's taking on more water than it should be at the moment for ARP.
Yeah, and it's not like these are even losses to teams that you would expect to lose to. Like,
exactly.
They still have the heart of their schedule to go through. And with a loss to already 6 Kings, that puts you in such a difficult spot. DICE is another roster that will very likely be contending for one of those top 4 spots. You can't afford to lose this one. You got to go big in the S&D. Obviously, Detri was absolutely phenomenal with the sniper in hand up against Luminosity. They're going to need him to step up once again.
See how it goes. It'll be the offense for ARP to start. DICE coming off the spawn, looks to be kind of a 2-2-1 split. A lot of focus through mid-map here. Smokes will embellish the majority of it, but Kim with the shotgun out, almost gets both. Saves responds. Awaken, the only defender inside of A, also tallies a first blood kill, and with that, we'll have everything neutralized to a very early 3v3.
That was as chaotic as can be. Veteran top side, trying to sniff out Awaken. Cheeky little climb up the ladder, and T-Bag's got his back. Nice little 2-piece right there as DICE find a way to clean up a messy start to the round. And not the start that ARP were looking for.
I think it was just a little bit too cute for ARP. You get to that 3v3 with a minute and 50 still on the clock. Take your time. Feel things out. But ARP tried to get a little bit too deep. Gets punished for it. Opening nades once again. Mostly encompassing the middle of the map. Awaken does make contact over towards A. First blood for Hack, still playing around the outside. Awaken can recontest the inside of Pizza here. And well, the trades do come out again with ARP on top. Last one left is Says, shotgun in hand. Kim giving Says a chance, but that's just not the range you want with the R9, and now he's completely stuck behind a wall. Nowhere to go as Detri will punish and ARP respond.
Flashbang can only get you so far in that situation. Nice attempt. I mean, maybe just with the way that Flashbang's and combo work, he very well could have 1v5 that squad, but unfortunately it won't go through. ARP keep things even, and Detri does step up in that round, 2 kills to his name, so we'll see if he can continue that as the squad continues to look to him. And DICE sending on over to A. There's not a whole lot here to defend, and right now B is going to be wide open and ready for the taking for ARP.
Timing though on the long flank. Saves and Hacks quickly behind. Yawn. Oh, what a shot! Elcar in hand, second one down low. Hacks will get the trade. Aerith from the front has also made life a little bit easier as still more finesse comes through, but ARP once again winning the gunfights, leaving Aerith by herself. 1v3 situation has Chelsea just around the corner. And that would be a tough check for anybody, considering that's a 50-50 challenge right there. Aerith does create a little bit of space to play off balcony. And also has a Fennec to play with. The first shots are good. 15 seconds, 1v2.
If she hits this shot onto Veteran, it's possible. But if I had to guess, he's not peeking anytime soon. Has a nade to work with over the top. And even though it won't connect, not enough time for her to work with. Kim Wax drops on down with a shotgun to the noggin. And ARP have found a way to bounce back. Now taking the lead in this one. Kim Wax having a big impact with that shotgun as well. Got to keep an eye on him and how he controls the mid-map.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part of this so far for ARP is that they're happy to take these very quick opening engagements in tight spaces. This time, though, it'll only be Kim playing bottom mid. Trying to sneak through, stays up top, just runs right through the smoke, tries to reinforce over towards B, but there's just not an angle to get in. Once again, the defense just very short-handed towards this opening contest at B, and ARP hold a 5v3 advantage with the bomb being planted.
And it seems like ARP still have no idea that Kim Wax has made his way all the way through mid, so he's able to hit a flank now. Nades go over top, but Kim Wax is there, and he picks up another crucial kill. 2 players remain for DICE right here. Size trying to find an angle, trying to find a push, but coming through mid generators is not going to make anything easy. Kim Wax on a flank, but nobody to hit. And right now, it seems like it's all down to Aerith. She's spotted out, and that is 3 straight convincing rounds for ARP.
This defense needs to modify, and I think a lot of it is just, hey, if we want to stack through mid with numbers, that's fine, but throw your nades towards the backside of this B site, 'cause at the moment, it's just been way too free for ARP to run through. And I would imagine you should just take the moniker, if it ain't broke, don't fix it if you're ARP. Seems to be the case once again with a heavy hit opening through mid. Lots of stuns and nades are going to hit through the smoke. Kim will get a little bit of a pinch here through mid as Detry will find first blood through the middle of the map. Teabag holding deep though, puts together a good response, and yeah, defensively this time, Dice do find the kills needed to make sure that the bomb does not get planted towards B. A lot of focus through mid map and all of it turning up in favor of Dice.
Love the adjustments right there. You know that they're going to send at least one aggressive player through mid, so you sit back, let the ARs and the long-range SMGs make them pay. And now all down to Yawn trying to save the round for ARP. He's got a sniper in hand, but looks like they're pretty content to play the inside of Pizza, and Aerith going to go ahead and hold this cross angle through mid.
Now, though.
No audio cues given so far. Yawn going to look to play the long game on this one, but he's got a lot of corners to check.
Yeah, lots of time, but it's not going to feel like a lot of time considering what has to happen here for Yawn. Aerith making a check through window. That'll be seen, but Aerith will hit the shot. And Dice will battle back to bring the Citizen within one. And I think the biggest thing about it is, yeah, just play a little bit more passive. Just don't let ARP take every single opening gunfight. Leave someone in reserve, and that worked out nicely for Dice.
Well, the game of chess continues. We'll see what ARP does to adjust this time around. Obviously, eyes on Kimwax once again as Veteran's the one with the bomb in hand, and this time they fully send on into A, and there is no type of defense here. Aerith gets one hit marker and immediately backs off. Size is there. That's a big kill, and if he can catch another, the push may fall apart right here. Chelsea's able to find one, but immediately traded out. Detry's got to hit the shots and finds the kill. It wasn't pretty, but they take the bomb site and leave all things down to Aerith.
Literally a whisker away from making major mistakes if you're ARP, leaving that mid-cross open for that long. But they do eventually clean up the kills needed. And Aerith is going to say, how many 1v multiples do I have to go through in this game? And the answer is not many more. At least not from that side. 4-2 the half ARP. Solid. A lot of it just was straight up aggression. I'm curious to see what they want to do defensively with that same mentality, or do you switch it up?
Yeah, I've got a feeling that Kimwax is feeling pretty comfortable in the positions he's been able to get into. It looks like he's going to at least head that direction this time around once again, this time hopping up into that generator window. And with that positioning right there, anybody that wants to cross has to deal with him first. Detry forced back off the contact of the nade, but Kimwax is there, finding yet another first blood for ARP.
And this post plant's going to be so hard to break down if you're ARP. Although Detry gets one steps away from the gunfight and nearly takes down a second. Kimwax sliding forward. Will take another kill with the shotgun in hand, leaving just Awaken and Aerith on top of the site to defend in this 3v2. And the nade will land. Wow, the late nade lands, and Kimwax will follow up, finding Awaken the more traditional way, and ARP are up 5-2.
And one thing I haven't really noticed, but Detry is still having himself a game. 9 kills on the board. We haven't gotten to see that much of his POV, but still having a big impact for ARP. We knew that was what they needed if they were going to have a chance here in the search and destroy. So they're off to a great start. Same on the defensive side. And once again, you're going to let the sniper control that long lane over on the B side. And it's once again going to be Kimwax getting hopped up in the mid-map.
And Dice are having a real tough time just getting anything going off the rip, it feels like. Some of that by tempo from ARP, others by just good set nades. And now all of a sudden ARP defensively will get through A. You've got Kim just making sure nobody pushes through the mid-connector. Bomb will be planted here, but this is all about post-plant retake if you're ARP. Yawn drops. Detry in trouble also falls. So the defense from the front completely obliterated, and now Dice's setup is very, very aware that there should be a flank on the way.
Kimwax is a solid spot if somebody has to make their way through, but Dice can just sit there and wait, and the head glitch that Awaken has to work with should make the kills as free as he could hope. Hack's going to find one on the hop up onto Veteran, now all down to Chelsea. That's a 5-0 round for Dice as they look to bounce back.
Yeah, and for ARP, you were forced into some gunfights that you didn't want from your defensive side of the map through B. And that is one of those moments that if you have 2 subs, which I believe they did, playing the backside of Jays, you have to be able to out-trade and give some time for that flank to come all the way through A, because ARP absolutely knew where that hit was coming from, the early push through on A, but just could not quite handle it. So Dice stay alive. Another quick hit over towards B site. Detri sniping this round will actually have to be backed off, and now it's really just Kimwax, the only player who could possibly defend, but again, you assume that Kim's got the shotgun out, and as Saves makes the play through bottom mid, numbers will once again favor Dice on their post-plant setup.
That's not the player that you want to lose if you're ARP. Chelsea just does not see size out of the corner of her eye. Right now the pressure onto Detri, but the snipe's not connecting. They were the other day. Hits the follow-up onto Aerith, but still a lot of work to do. Kimwax opens things up as size drops, but 2 trades go the way of Dice. And with only Veteran left to clutch up, should be pretty easy to deal with as Hex takes him down. Now back-to-back rounds for Dice, as this is far from over.
Yeah, back-to-back rounds, and it's in the fashion of how they were won. Getting control of B early, and then also pushing through, taking over the defensive side of these generators. Can't allow that to happen if you're ARP. And Dice will go right back to it. This time, look at the defense, though. 3-man stack towards outer B, double stack in towards mid, so they're giving up the A site here. Lots of nades over the top for both sides, and it looks like there actually may be some awareness here. Dice are throwing nades and making the hard pivot to A. This is brilliant, but ARP should be getting a whisper of this just due to the fact that the opening nades haven't led to a first point of contact. Someone surely should be rotating over to A by now.
And Kimwax is in bottom of mid right now, so he should have gotten the audio cues on all the players crossing. Yawn's going to get hopped up there. And a big shot for Yawn onto Aerith to put a little bit of a dent as Detri connects onto Awaken as well. Kimwax takes down Size, and the brilliant move gets countered hard by that crucial information for Kimwax, and now the 2 remaining players left to defend. Detri's not going to be able to connect, maybe a little overzealous, but fortunately for him, Chelsea's going to be there to take down Hex. Not a single kill on the round for Dice. And now ARP a chance to tie this up.
And I think the biggest thing about that is Detri's late grenade. I mean, with all the chaos that was coming over by utility from the big site, for him to still hold on to a flag and then put it perfectly on top of the planter, massive. Because if that bomb gets planted, even though ARP got the first 2 kills, Dice's post pot would have been hard to break down, but they stopped the plant, they get an extra kill. And now we're on that point. Trophy system's down here for Dice, but Detri doesn't need the nades, gets the sniper rifle to hit. And there will be a commitment here for Dice to try to stay on B, but they don't have a lot of success until Aerith is able to at least counter back and we go 4v4.
And maybe bit off a little more than he could chew on that one. Didn't need to back up that far, play the position that you've got. That's a big opening for Dice, and now pressure on as Yawn's in a tough position. Kimwax going to get taken down, so is he. And just like that, the man advantage for Dice as they look to push through a difficult mid-angle. Flashbang does go over top. That gives them visibility. Chelsea opens up with 2, and now it's all down to Aerith to defend on the site. Backside of generators, an opportunity to clutch up the round. The bomb has been hopped right here. Chelsea gets off the 1v1. She may have blown the opportunity right there. No peeks out of Aerith. It looks like the time will go her way.
Wow. I mean, that's initially a massive mistake from Dice. You literally saw the flashbang hitting you in the face, and you still choose to take that challenge, and you put your teammate in a very tough 1v2. But Aerith does survive through it, finding both the kills and also doing a nice job of finessing the game clock. So now 5-6 the tally. Dice once again off the spawn. Go over towards B. Trophies in place. Keep them safe from nades. Detri looking for a snipe through stair side, but gets flashed off the angle. And Dice now looking to step forward. Veteran in their way. And there will be a little bit of help here from mid-map as well, as ARP hope to have some pretty solid control here at B.
Another crucial first blood out of Detri. He's been so good, 13 kills, but Size sneaks through. Veteran finds the planter right there, but Size still pushed up. Tough to make your way through that mid-entry, but Chelsea on a nice flank right here. Should be able to spot out Aerith, but she gets the better of the gunfight. And now all onto Kimwax. Bomb's going to go down. Spotted out through mid. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves some overtime.
Wow.
Damn, overtime.
That is just unbelievable timing. Considering the circumstances,
this one decides the moment
trying to commit to a plant when they don't have full control over the platforms, and they still find a way to counter out the kill. So we'll swap the sides. Dice will go back to defense. Opening 4-man hit immediately in towards A. The only player here is Says, who does get, well, he gets a little bit deleted, only finding one. Yon follows up with a long snipe through mid, and this should lead surely to a plant here at A, but Teabag's nade stops it a little while longer, and now Dice are finding kills behind this.
Ooh, and Kimwax spots Aerith, but it's not going to be enough to find the kill. Flashbang does connect. Should be a free double kill if he wants to peek it, but Aerith makes him pay. Able to recover from the flashbang, and now all on to Chelsea to try to clutch up the round. Peeks out. This is a ballsy push, and it's going to be rough for you to get back to the bomb in time to Chell. 2 players in the way. Aerith has picked up the shotgun, and Dice now fire back as they only need one more round to take the 2-0 lead.
It's just another one of those moments of you saw the info, you flashed out the door, you know that there's somebody there. Initially with that shoulder check through mid, you say, I don't see anybody, I gotta back off. But again, the shotgun shell at too long of a range allows Dice to get a couple of critical kills, and now they hold the advantage here in the overtime. And on their offensive attempt, it'll be a 5-man hit over towards B, with Saves once again playing inside towards these boiler rooms. Detry doesn't see much. Trophy system does not get down in time to keep him safe. Frag grenade will also land, bouncing right into his lap, and Dice have a 5v4.
I don't have a good feeling about this for Dice right now. Detry taken down already. Teabag pushed way up into the sniper's nest, and the bomb going down early. They have not looked strong in the retake, and so many consecutive bad COD timings for them. They are super grouped up with no type of map control, and all the pressure onto Yawn to find the opener. You got Teabag tucked away in a corner to be dealt with. Nades do connect over top, but not enough for the kill, and the initial push is crucial.
Yeah, this is all just trying to overwhelm and flood, and ARP starting to find some success. Saves through mid-map though, working alongside Hacks, and they will find a way to start to get the trades. Now just on to Yawn. 1v2 situation, just hoping and praying some of these snipes will hit, but Aerith will back away. Time becoming an issue. Even though Yawn finds the kill, there will not be enough time for him to jump on for the defuse. A tight map, but still, Dice survive through it and win it 8-6.
Man, that was ARP's game to lose.
Yes, it was.
They lost it.
Yep.
5-2. 5-2 lead right there, and so many rounds that could have gone.
Bro, these guys are suck, bro. 5-2. They were up 5.
So many turns, and
they come back with 8-6.
Now sit down 2-0 and are on the brink of moving to 3-0 here, or 0-3 in stage 4.
Yeah, and this map I think was a battle between offensive halves, where for ARP, quick early contact right through mid forced the defense to have to move and rotate essentially into you, and it worked out beautifully for them for a 4-2 half. But on the other side, how many times did we see Dice just running through generator and finding so much space through B, whether that be inside a boiler or deep towards the defensive sniper's nest? It just felt like ARP and Dice both were giving away too much space defensively until we got to overtime, where Dice were able to kind of get a read and stop that ARP offense over towards the A site. Cheeky idea, but it doesn't fully work out. Aerith gets 15 total kills as well. Massive game from her.
Yeah, she was the player we were looking to step up a little bit more. She's done that for sure. I feel like we weren't really pointing it into any of the individual performances out of the Dice players early in the game, and they just kept making plays after plays. And I think especially the snipe that she hit through the flashbang onto Kimwax, that seemed like the turning point where everything started to fall apart for ARP.
And the thing about it, and you mentioned this with Aerith kind of swapping over towards the main AR role, she still feels comfortable with the sub in her hand. The 1v2 with a Fennec in hand, did it a couple of times actually where she came off spawn, not sniping, instead pulling out an SMG, and that other level of versatility and dynamic that you don't necessarily get from a lot of other teams in North America could be a huge staple towards this Dice team's success. So they're up 2-0. We go to standoff though for the control. We expect this to be very defensively sided, as it often is. Any lifelines here for ARP in your mind? Or you just want to go? You want to get a little low? Just real low on this.
Maybe like back against the wall, adrenaline's pumping. This is where you bounce back. I mean, ultimately, I feel like even if ARP are not at the top of their game, if they can get defensive side to start, they've got a shot.
Fair enough. It's a fair point. The thing about it is, and we said this in EU, we haven't said it yet officially on North American broadcast, but you start 0-3 in this group stage, you have to win out, and you still have to hope you likely win a tiebreaker to get into the playoffs. So ARP are in big-time trouble right now after dropping the map 5 versus 6 Kings earlier off broadcast, and now possibly facing a 3-0 loss to go 0-3. That would be critically bad towards their chances at making playoffs. Where on the other side, Dice would be feeling pretty darn confident. Played a couple of good teams, got a couple of wins under your belt. Could be big for him.
This is just not what I was expecting out of ARP with how closely they played Luminosity. And honestly, like the further we get into this, I'm starting to question how much we should be believing in Luminosity. The fact that they played a close match against an ARP team that is getting picked apart by every other competition they go up against.
Yep.
I think what we're learning more than anything is that Luminosity has a lot of work to be done because they've still yet to go against the heart of their schedule.
I agree. This could be a fun end of the season. This is day 2 for us. I mean, we're going to be through 4 matches for each of these teams, by the time we get done with everything. But there are some major question marks that are starting to pop up. But for now, it's all about can ARP bounce back. So the rest of this series will not just be this standoff. They then have to go through Apocalypse, Hardpoint, and then they finish on the standoff Surge. So we'll see how things go.
Yeah,
but it
RPG
does start
doesn't
off
have
right here, right now, and ARP will be, I think on the offense, it may be a side swap thing, though. As we look
that is the only hope for ARP. I mean, like, and maybe that's the reason they left the lobby. You know, maybe we gotta get that situated. I think that this ARP team does have talent. I think what a lot of these teams are realizing is the shiny player that you can potentially pick up in Roster Mania a week before you've started, when you've had a month, 2 months, 3 months practicing with the same roster. It seems like a good idea in the moment, but it is backfired for so many of these teams. And honestly, I'm hoping that come next year, come whatever it is heading into Stage 5, maybe some of these teams reevaluate and prioritize the chemistry that they've built and trust the system rather than just saying, oh, that guy has a good KD, let's pick him up.
Let me introduce you to North American Call of Duty, because this happens on a weekly basis in the regular multiplayer, and everyone is looking for the best formula. That's really what it comes down to. But I agree. There are often times, and we have this conversation all the time when it comes to the regular Challenger season, where it's just like, yeah, you guys may have lost a map 5 somewhere. Doesn't mean your team is chalked. Yep. Who knows? Hard to say. Everyone's searching for the perfect formula, though, as they try to get in towards a chance for Stage 5. But at the moment, ARP's hopes of that start to seemingly go out the window as we get the reset ready to go. Looks like the sides will stay the same. So the focus starts here with ARP. What can you do on this opening offense to get yourself started off on the right foot?
You've got to get some of that back alley map control. Chelsea. Opening push right here, I think, is going to get spotted out by T-Bag. Detry going to be able to win one, but T-Bag shuts down Chelsea. So
bad.
Now an opportunity for Dice to get pushed up, but it's mostly ARP in the kill feed. Hex shut down there too. And a strong B push right here. If you can get this capture early, this can be a fast round 1 on the offensive side.
Detry on the pinch as well. If he gets control of Bakery, this could be terrible for Dyson. Oh boy, first tick lock, double stack on towards B. They deal with the flank as well, and Dice are finding nothing off spawn. They actually only have 2 kills, and it's all from what T-Bag did to open things up their gas station side. So the third tick is going to get locked, and ARP may have taken him 2 maps, but boy, have they showed up.
Where
damn, now they get in
the entire time. Size pushes up. Not going to be shut down, at least not yet, as Dice start to bounce back right here. And even off the slow start, they fire back, but a player hops the objective for ARP right here. It's going to be Detry. Has to be dealt with. Awaken pushes up, even with the audio cues, going to be able to win the gunfight. Right now, ARP, slow things down. Don't get too aggressive right here. These lives start disappearing. It will happen quickly at the hands of the spawn trap.
Oh, T-Bag. Oh, my goodness.
Now they're shutting each other out.
That would have been a huge shutdown for ARP, not having a lot of maps to work with, but Awaken off spawn is able to pop up, find the kills needed. Saves trying to finesse to keep his life, not going to work out. ARP finding a couple of trade back kills. Now a chance to try to contest the zone, but Hax is, of course, in place and ready to go. Detry still tries to find the trade and will be successful in the endeavor. and jumps on to stop the clock at 1:26. Second tick of progress being worked on, but the biggest thing here for ARP is a significant life lead.
Yep. Up 8 right now, and still 1:20 to work with. Should be super, super winnable. And your main goal right now is to win with as big of a life lead as you possibly can. They're going to go ahead and hop the objective right here, and Dice don't really seem to have much intent of stopping that anytime soon. Sai's going to be able to find one. Flashbang's perfectly timed, and he picks up another, so at the very least, ending some streaks, but with only 1 life left. Should be enough for ARP to take the opening round. And just like that, the natural advantage is equalized.
Nice.
Big stuff there for ARP. Had a couple operators get charged up by the end, of course, so they will hold an advantage here on this opening defense, and they could really put a snowball into place early here if they were able to find opening kills off the break. So now the focus immediately gets transitioned over to Dice. Can you put together a good break off? Lots of trophies through mid-map as Dice just sprints on forward through mid-street. Hack's able to find first blood. Veteran trying to dance with the devil, and he gets punished for it. How about the opening for Dice as they stop the clock jumping on it?
It will be interesting if they look to snowball with those operators. 4 ready to go, none called in yet. And on the defensive side, this time it's ARP getting picked apart. Detry looking for the one player on the inside of Factory right there. He's going to be able to do that, but teammates continue to drop. Finally, a solid feed going through for ARP, and maybe an opening to finally make some usage out of those operators.
Oh, but the War Machine comes out. Can you get the second tick of progress locked? Yes, Awaken does it by himself. Aerith is here to assist. What is going on, ARP? You've got members nearby. Pop an operator, reclaim this zone. Kills are still not convincing enough. Yawn will eventually get the final kill needed to complete progress of the 3rd tick, but Dice now have operators earned up of their own, and they already have 2 ticks of progress at this A zone.
Are they just going to waste an entire round of operator progress? Like, I understand you want to make sure you can win your offensive rounds. You got to win the defensive rounds, too. Right now, they find themselves down in lives. They've forced Dice to use all their operators, but they've used it to build a life advantage. Detry finally uses his, but no value to be found, and you've still got to deal with Teabag with an Annihilator in hand.
Does get shut down. Purifier up for Veteran, reclaims the B zone, but the problem is Awaken has gotten into topside white. Oh, and he's going to read all of this. Chelsea, no chance. It gets picked off spawn. Now an extra step forward for Awaken, but does not tally. Yawn just below him. 14 plays 10. Veteran's Purifier does expire, but Dice are out trading ARP still. They have a 4 life lead and 90 seconds to make good on these last 8 lives to win your offense.
There's 2 operators available for each team. Question is, do you want to invest ARP finally bringing the life lead back into their hands, or at least minimizing what Dice has been able to build in a big pick out of Teabag? But right now, only 2 lives in the lead.
Oh, man.
Those 2 are going to be crucial, though. Chelsea and Yawn, big decision up ahead. Do you want to invest? Hope you can clutch it up. Chelsea's going to use the Sparrow. She's got to go big right here. Big shots from Aerith. She's not going to win the gunfight, but the damage goes through to find the kill anyway.
Him steps up. Does have the boxes to use as a heady, but Hax is still playing off this pitch, waiting for someone to challenge. And the longer this takes, the better this is for Dice, because they know for a fact they can work around from the front or possibly hit a bit of a pinch. It's all going to come from the front side. Yawn by themselves, 1v4 situation. Only going to have a little bit of time to work with here as the 1st tick of progress is locked in. 2 members on at the moment. Play through mid-map, it saves with a shotgun. And that is 4 operators that get pulled very late for ARP. And it doesn't help them win the defensive rounds. And Bobby's about to have an aneurysm.
I mean, not only did they not use, like, you had so much wasted time where you could have been recharging operators. Even if you don't get max value, you have got to win the defensive rounds. You did what you needed to do, took it offense, and just like that, any advantage that you built yourself has gone completely to waste. They get a 1 life lead here off the start of this one. But such a devastating missed opportunity for ARP.
Yeah, ARP though, okay, off offense. Again, you wouldn't think that standoff was a defensively sided map based on how these breakoffs have gone. Clock stops at 1:10. 2nd tick of progress being worked on. Awaken having a tough time finding Detry, but eventually connects. The beatdown is there. But the 2nd tick of progress, Solomon, meanwhile, gets locked in, and ARP are enjoying a 5 life lead.
I don't know. Maybe it's not offensive. Maybe everybody else is just really bad at playing standoff. I can't even tell anymore. Full A capture already for ARP. They've got the life lead. Hacks looking to get pushed up, try to clear off the objective, but it's already capped. Kimwax holding the cross. 2 players left to defend on this B objective. Hacks lurking, but he's spotted out immediately by Veteran, and once again, the bulk of the kills going the way of the offense.
Yeah. Defense, though, still has some space to work with from inside B. Teabag is also trying to be a nuisance over through Hotel. ARP have mid-street control, though, and Awaken are actually just trying to force something out with the War Machine. That'll clear off the front side of the zone, and Hacks will follow up by controlling Elbow. Still some space here, though, for ARP to work with. Thing about it is this has taken some time for them to develop an actual setup, and it will come down likely to who makes the first call on the offensive side to pop an operator to try to break the code.
Let's see. 2 charged up and ready to go. A couple streaks available as well. Kimwax with a nade over top to take down Awaken. And with that, it opens an opportunity to push on to B. So the War Machine is there and should be able to keep that doorway cleared off for a little bit. Wrap around size. Sparrow goes big. 2 kills for him and still a few more shots to work with. But the nade over top from Detri is perfect. And just like that, the operator is equalized. Still 3 available for ARP if they want it.
Dude, Hacks is such a finesse god. Oh my goodness. Every time I see his POV and he's in a 1v multiple situation, he is playing the situation perfectly. 7 plays 10 though. Clock becoming a bit of an issue. Says having a tough time with the R9, but eventually connects. Hit from the front. Hacks still alive and Cubby. Oh, but yawns. Annihilator will eventually put him to rest. 6v7 situation. 33 seconds on the clock. And Dice are not giving Yawn a chance to do too much with this Annihilator from the front.
Ooh, cheeky spot for Awaken. Finds one. Plays his life. Reinforcements are there, but he doesn't need it. Does it all himself and earns a Hunter Killer, but it can't connect around the wall. ARP now down to 1 life right here. It's only Veteran to try to clutch up. And with 14 seconds, it looks like another winnable round gonna go to waste with operators left in their pockets. And the 1v4, there's just no time to make it happen.
Nope. Had to make a desperate pull. Not going to work out. Dice now up 2-1. And they finally have broken the mold. Maybe they've broken the mold. 3 operators at the ready for Dice as they swap over to the offense. Other side of things, still 3 operators at the ready for ARP, but I don't know. It may be one of those things that we need to see it sooner rather than later here if they want to have a chance to win round 5 offense. If we can get there in the first place, as Dice will have a Purifier operator. And the clock already stops at a minute 22 with progress being made today.
50-50s off the start. ARP get the better of a couple. Teabag. Oh, that's a punishing Annihilator. Claw taken out of the equation. Aerith,
this is their last game.
Hasn't had a great game, but the Purifier's ready to go right now.
They're gonna lose.
Teabag just looking for something. Flashbangs connect over top. That gives them information and a big kill for Yawn. So it looked like maybe a snowball opportunity for Dice off the start. They get that A objective captured a decent portion of the way. But at the very least, you've kept the lives fairly even.
And Veteran should be popping a Purifier here to go clear, but he gets shut down by Says, who turns it into a double. Oh my goodness, how about 3 for Says? A late nade connects, but the A zone's gone. And now all of a sudden there's focus over towards B. Teabag in front. Veteran's Purifier finally comes through, and it will save this first tick of progress at B.
And you've got to play this as long as you possibly can. Realistically, you need some. You need a trophy, and there's no trophy.
Oh no.
Awaken has been so big with that War Machine. So many big clears. So many well-timed kills, and now you gotta deal with Size. Prone with a shotgun on the other side of the doorway. They try to slide out, but it doesn't matter. He reads it perfectly, and that Sparrow's gonna clear off that doorway for the foreseeable future. They're forced to wrap mid-street right here, and I don't know if there's enough time to make their way into the objective. Hacks pops the claw, and that might be enough to lock in the win for Dice.
Yeah, not looking good. Last attempt trying to break this from the front. Chelsea on the way in, gets the opening contest. Nade over the top also works out, but no one cleared out Hacks, who gets a double. Aerith may have been a slow game, but she nearly wins it herself. Detri saves it for the time being, but it's a 12v2. Pretty much a moot point, you'd think, with this much time on the clock. And oh man, Dice just punished from start to finish. Last one left is Yawn, and as he drops, it's going to be a 3-0. Dice on top, and ARP
that was epic.
0-3 tally in their first couple of games here in the round robin.
History repeats itself. The same scoreline that we saw in stage 3.
Yep.
but realistically, a very avoidable 3-0 for ARP and just too many missed opportunities there in the control.
And, you know, that's the thing about the NA schedule, maybe even comparatively to the EU schedule, is you're playing 2 games on the day comparatively to 1. So if you're in a little bit of a mental funk coming out of a Map 5 loss, you don't have time to review over it outside of quick conversations, and then you follow up by making some pretty critical errors throughout the entirety of the series. I mean, the Hacienda got out of hand, but the meltdown was very winnable. 4-2 up, get to overtime, just lose momentum on it, and then again here you open up with a great offense, have 5 operators at one point on the defensive side, don't pop them until it's too late. Ah, man, it's going to feel real rough, I think, for ARP coming out of today. 0-3 in the leaderboard in a series here that was definitely extendable, if not winnable.
Man, I had high hopes for ARP. Realistically, I thought at worst top 5, and they fall apart there, Chris.
Brutal finish to a tough series for ARP and a big win for DICE. They get it done in a 3-0. It was a little mixy there for a moment, Beef Mommy, but let's get the big takeaway. MVP for DICE. Who gets the award tonight?
My goodness, I can't choose a single person. I mean, you know, hacks are always going to be there in those angles, just dealing with so much multi-kills. Aerith stepping up when she needed the most when it comes to that S&D, getting those really big 1v2 clutches. And every single time the MVP just changes. So I think in this DICE squad, everyone is stepping up. I can't just say with just one person here.
Beef Mommy, MVP for DICE. I'm here now, Beef. You got to deal with it.
Fine. Okay, you know what? I'm going big for hacks, man. I
Me
mean,
too.
Shift, who has been like complimenting him, but his gameplay, even though if he doesn't get MVP, it is high impact kills that changes the tide of the game, especially in that control matchup.
So fun to watch. Hacks is going to get our unofficial MVP award. Congratulations, my guy. But more importantly, if you're this DICE squad, you're picking up a very important second win. Bobby Plays, tell me about this team. Did they live up to your expectations in this series? Did they falter a bit more than you expected? What did they show you tonight?
Realistically, I think they could have won this a lot more convincingly than they did, and I think a lot of area for improvement, but it seems like that's kind of been the case for just about every top dog in NA that we've looked at, maybe with the exception of Tribe. So I would say DICE definitely performed where they need to, but I think definitely some sharpening up, especially when it comes to the search and destroy and the control.
I think hopes of a top 3 finish are dashed right now for ARP, but if you're taking away some positives from the series, who impressed you from ARP tonight, Shift?
Man, it's tough to put the finger onto one player, and I know you're going to try to call me out for that, but I think, and for me, it still lives with the 3 more newer players. Okay. Looking at Detry and Chelsea and them, trying to live up to the expectation of the other veteran players on this roster. Great moments, but I still need to see, I think, more overall from them. Getting 1v2'd, I think, was kind of the biggest thing. I think they were actually the last 2 that were left, if I'm not mistaken. So those are things that you kind of just cannot have happen. And I think this lack of consistency for this ARP team, where you've got Detry at one point pops off, other times makes a huge critical error. Same thing can be said for anyone on that roster, but it just feels like there's a consistency problem with this team.
Well, the one thing consistent for them is 2 losses on a day that they hope to forget. Let's take a look at your leaderboard and update you where we're at. We are midway through this group stage, and you can see 3-0 for Tribe and Luminosity. Have them locked up in the top spot. DICE guarantees their top 3 for now, but Simplicity and 6 Kings are still yet to play at the end of the night. For ARP Unlimited, it is not looking pretty. Currently 0-3, trying to climb that leaderboard, but plenty of games still to go, and we're going to see more after this. Congratulations to everyone who started the stream with us and is still awake right now. I got great news. If you were hoping for a 4th match, well, I got it loaded up for you, and it's 2 teams desperate for a W. You don't want to go anywhere. When we come back, Simplicity takes on the former Risen, now going by the name of 6 Kings.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert.
Next game is Team 6. 60 King and the other one.
Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason.
Last game
like
of the day. It's gonna be the match
that
form.
when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete, well get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. They don't know what's gotten into me, how'd I turn pain into energy. Through all the struggle and hurt, remember my worth, and that's why I gotta be first.
Welcome back, everybody. We have Jesus versus Risen, a.k.a. Six Kings, taking on Simplicity. It's Chris
that's
Wickett back
Jesus
here
can
hanging
save
out
you
with the
and
crew.
the other
I
team.
got my man, I hold shift. Bobby plays a Beef Mommy down at the end. And Beef, let's start here with Simplicity. Our squad is 1-1, looking to improve to 2-1 to tie that third place. Who's on the roster? Who we liking tonight?
You already said it. Jesus is going to be in that roster, and probably one of the bigger names that everyone is expecting to kind of just step up. And another big name, Blur, a really interesting pickup, but obviously this guy needs no introduction. He's really talented when it comes to that AR. Obviously he shredded last year when it comes to that SKS, but interested to see the team chemistry this time around.
One thing I take away from that graphic is they don't have jerseys Bobby plays.
No.
And the one jerseys that we saw on Blur is a Tribe jersey. So Simplicity, just from an outsider's point of view, this is a team trying to climb up the ranks amongst the top orgs. What do you want to see from this squad tonight?
I mean, I think leadership, we saw what the absence of Jesus did last week in the way that they got completely picked apart against Tribe following the fact that they 2-0'd Tribe in Stage 3. We know they're capable of competing with the top competition. It is a very different Tribe team, but the additional Blur, I think, throws a couple things in the mix that they weren't quite expecting. Having two very, very much main AR-oriented players in both Kings and Blur can make things a little bit complicated for them. So we'll see what they can do. In their second matchup last week, they actually had Cartel subbed out and Jesus subbed in, and that's where they took care of business up against Devious, who looked very solid earlier today. So I'm expecting them to step things up, and I'm fully anticipating they take the win here.
It's going to be a good show match here, and we got Six Kings with a new name. Last time we saw them here on this stage, they're underneath the title of Risen or Ryzen. So talk to me about the opponents of Simplicity tonight. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to whatever they did to win their opening matchup today. Map 5 winner, on ARP, who we all came into today thinking that they were going to be great and they were going to be one of the top teams by the end of it, but this Six Kings roster find a key win, and now all of a sudden the entire group looks different. And I think my eyes go straight to Mago in the middle, just due to the fact that he has been a huge playmaker in the past. He has the ability to take over and single-handedly win maps for his team. But if this Six Kings team was able to take a map 5 win versus ARP, my mind seems to think that they have found something that was missing in week number 1, because they looked okay in the hard points to start, but they were definitely lacking on team coordination. That needs to be there today if they want to have a chance versus Simplicity.
They've already been solid in their game 5, picking up a win over ARP to start the day. Let's talk a little bit about the keys to success, though. How do you pull out the dub here against Simplicity?
They started off the day really well, and this is the day that is most important for them, because not only do they have these 2 maps, they have another one later on. So just keep racking up the points. Now you started off really well with that win here in ARP. Now they have to be consistent when it comes to those hard points, because with Simplicity, they're not going to be an easy team to beat.
Bobby, you got Tsunami on the bench here. Does he come in like Jesus does?
I don't think so. I really like Tsunami. I think he's a phenomenal player and wouldn't necessarily be a bad addition, but he is more of an S&D specialist, and obviously you want to have all-around players on this roster. I think, like Shift said, eyes are on Mago. He's on his revenge tour after getting dropped from ARP.
Yep.
Already got a taste of that revenge earlier today. Last week we saw him drop 50+ in the takeoff hardpoint, but his team came up short anyway up against Dice. I'm expecting him to continue to slay out.
And of course, those stats not updated with Six Kings win earlier today. Shift, who do you give the stats advantage to?
After what we just got in terms of results, I actually kind of favor a little bit more of a competitive series for Six Kings, because they do play some solid hardpoint. It's just what's going to happen in the search and destroy, because Tunisia did not look particularly good for them last week, and the control was arguably worse, which is never good when you lose 7-1 and then follow up with a 3-0 loss. Simplicity, I think, still own the stats advantage, but there are routes here to where I think Six Kings could possibly go 2-0 in the day.
Maybe a 1-4-5, another game 5 for the Six Kings. We'll find out if it's in the cards. This match is just a few moments away from kicking off. Bobby, if I'm looking for a 1v1 throughout this series, give me 2 studs, 2 stars to keep eyes on.
I mean, I think you got to look at the former teammates, Jesus and Mago, going up against each other. Definitely the leaders on their respective squads, and this is 2 former, I guess, overall second place in the West players that are now on opposite sides and going to be facing off to see who can get the better. So I think those are definitely the players to watch for me.
And Beef Mommy, I've got a lot of friends tuning in from the Call of Duty League. They're checking out COD Mobile. Welcome, fam. Real quick, operators are in this game. We see them in the hard point. We see them in control. What's the most important?
The timing. We saw it a while ago in that last matchup when in control, use it too late that it loses you the entire game. So that's the timing that you need to get with the operators and the score streaks as well. So yeah, the timing is the #1 thing that all of these people need to do.
I like it. Focus on your timing. Pull it out at the right time. Well, we've got the maps pulled out for us. Let's pull up the graphic and show you all what's about to go down. Remember, best of 5 here, first to 3, and you're going to see hardpoint search, control, hardpoint search. Bobby, please, do you like these maps right now?
Looking at the arsenal, I think that's going to be a big-time advantage for Simplicity, no question about it. It's going to be really, really tough for Six Kings to be able to pull that one out. I think realistically, they might be able to find some plays, throw a couple different looks in the Express, and maybe make things interesting, especially with this being a Simplicity roster that hasn't had their starting 5 together all that long. Might be able to catch them off guard. And the raid control, I feel like that's been kind of 50-50 as well today from what we've seen from the North American competition. So I'm mainly looking, at least in the first half, the search and the control for Six Kings to have a chance in this one.
I like that call. And Shift, I got to call this out. We see Express, Standoff, and Raid. This is taking me back to 2013. Is this Black Ops 2? Are these the best maps right now in Call of Duty Mobile?
In Call of Duty, period? Yes, you're absolutely correct. The best map's Call of Duty, period. No, I think overall, you've got great map pool and in some of the best modes for those particular maps. It is important to note that Standoff as a search and destroy map is only being used as a filler until firing range change is technically fixed.
Yep.
So there is that, but I don't think anyone's particularly mad about seeing standoff at the pool
Give it to me in every game mode. I'm cool with it.
Absolutely. But going off of Bobby kind of talking about the maps and where the win conditions are, I think if you're Six Kings, you're looking at the Express, you're looking at the Hacienda, and you're looking at the map 5. I think that's probably going to have to be win condition here, taking both search and destroys based on that pool, because I agree with you. I think the Arsenal's not exactly good news here for Six Kings based on how Simplicity tends to play hardpoint.
And while we give our players another minute here to get ready and logged into the server, Bobby, real quick, for anyone who missed the format breakdown, where are we at in the season right now, and what is on the line here in the group stages? Because these teams are both looking for that 2-1 record.
Yeah, I mean, this is really where the grit comes down and where we see who the real winners are. I think especially with the momentum that this Six Kings squad has, there's no question that this is going to be more challenging than Simplicity had expected. I think with Six Kings, like I said earlier, kind of widely expected to be a bottom 2, bottom 3 team. The fact that they're able to take down ARP, they're coming into this on a hot start. This is not an even playing ground for this day as it stands right now.
All right, Beef Mommy, Bobby plays, you know what to do. Get over to your desk. And Beef Mommy, this time you're up for the Caster Challenge. I want to know what maps are in your top 5 that were not in Black Ops 2.
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh, what? I am a Modern Warfare girl, so I love that so much. But when it comes to Black Ops, I don't know, man.
He said favorite top 5 maps that were not in Black Ops 2. Was that the question? I think so.
I was kind of confused when it comes to the question, actually. Oh well.
This is trying not to embarrass myself time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, like what I was saying, like I'm not really a Black Ops girl. I am a Modern Warfare.
I'm gonna go Hacienda.
What? Did you just hear the what?
Call of Duty was my first Call of Duty. I'm sorry.
We're gonna make it up to you, I promise. Here, don't worry. Papa, Puckett.
Wait, I said
okay.
I'm sorry. I misspoke because it's 3 a.m. Call of Duty Mobile was my first Call of Duty. My brain's only functioning at like 5%.
I was gonna say it's 3 in the morning.
I didn't play Black Ops 2. I apologize. I know that's a sin in the Call of Duty community, but
it's okay. I'm here with you, buddy. Now we're starting things off where we get to see a hot start coming in from the Six Kings. And now it is for Simplicity. They need to find a way to stop that momentum, knowing very well that they chose, I feel like this is their map choice. Arsenal is honestly the best case scenario for them.
yeah, I would say no question about it. They and overall, they've got the experience to be able to, even if they're having a bad map, take this series. I think the Tribe matchup that we saw last week, more than anything, showed us how strong Tribe was and how we had kind of underestimated them coming into this. So I think Simplicity realistically should still be a top 3 team in North America. I think their matchup versus DICE is going to be a really, really interesting one, because I think that's a battle that we're likely going to see come down to be a little bit closer than either of those teams versus Tribe or Luminosity. But honestly, with the way that Luminosity has been looking shaky, Simplicity versus them could be good too.
I was about to say, like, we keep on hyping up Luminosity in that ARP game, and the fact that ARP kind of kept it close, they still lost it, yes. It just goes for a fact that Luminosity looks very shaky. We don't know who is the true top 2. Tribe right now looks very solid at the moment here in day 2 of NA, but the question is, who's going to be that top 2, top 3 right now? And I feel like it's the Simplicity versus Six Kings match that could definitely show us who has it here today.
Yeah, no question about it. It's, I feel like we're still in the proving ground stage a little bit. We're not quite to where we were in Europe, where we feel like, okay, we definitely know, like, this is top 3, this is middle of the road, this is bottom tier teams. Mm-hmm. There's still a lot to be proven here in North America, and definitely a bigger match than I had anticipated for it to be coming into today, because I figured ARP was going to be a shoo-in against Six Kings. I also didn't know that they were going to be playing while we were casting the other matches as well. So I'm just being caught off guard left and right. But it's definitely made for a fun and exciting match to look forward to for our last match of the night.
And since you did bring up the EU region, where every single match you do get 4 every single day, so they do have a longer format. And I feel like you mentioned it, I think you or Shift mentioned it a while ago, the format being 7 games a day could be a detriment to a lot of teams that are not performing during that particular day. But we do get to see Six Kings absolutely utilize that to their advantage.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why you got to be on your A game every single day. So we'll see if they can step up here as we get ready for this one. Still waiting for our players to get everything situated, but I think we should be good to go for our final match of the night. Six Kings versus Simplicity. And the Arsenal has always been it's one that we're still kind of getting used to with it being the newest addition into the hardpoint map.
Definitely. And speaking of Arsenal and who is going to step up in this matchup for Simplicity, that is Jesus Saves. This is the map that he dropped 38 kills and got 2 minutes on the hill time. So you need to shut down a player like that if you're going to be Six Kings. But so far though, as we do get to see the early setup from both of these teams. I mean, without the minimap, it's going to be difficult to see, but it's going to be Simplicity trying to go in there early on.
Yep, absolute chaos. There's smokes galore. Blur contact through the smoke, but Jesus Saves gets himself a feed off the start. Nice little three-piece vibing from the high ground, able to take down one. King's looking to block down the back side. Raft slides on through. Definitely has become known as one of the movement gods of the North American competitive scene. But Mago breaks through himself, and nice little feed 3 for him. It's going to be Six Kings finding that initial hardpoint control.
All right, now they need to get rid of Cartels, which is going to be in by that vents area, and you wouldn't want to have a player like that having that power position. Also, you need to have a hold of that blue as well, blue window that kind of connects through batteries and that rotation into P2. So far, though, it's still going to be a back and forth with 8 seconds left on the clock, still an open hardpoint, and still going to be contested by both of these teams. This is what we like to see, not a moment wasted. And now the rotation, though. Let's see who's going to be first, because so far, I think it's still going to be Simplicity having a hold of those spots.
It is, but Losty with tower control could make some noise, and he does. He finds 2 before getting traded out by Cartels. He's going to be able to pick up 2 right there. Simplicity off to the solid start. Blur looking to lock down the top side. He is yet to find a kill for himself, and he is still having a rough go of it. Perfectly exposed, but can't seem to find anything. Right now, vibing, looking for the pinch. Lethal's the one to get hopped up right here. 2 players left to deal with on the bottom side. Blur from down below. Finally going to be able to find kill number 1. Fortunately for him, the rest of his teammates firing on all cylinders.
Simplicity having a better time here, knowing very well where to spawn off to, what kind of positioning you want to get. But it is going to be Six Kings going in there for that early rotation because it is going to be absolutely far. And now this is the farthest rotation you actually have here in any kind of hardpoint map from P2 to P3. And now garden control is going to be essential for both of these teams.
Right now, Simplicity have built on this big time, but it's Six Kings rotated early for what is likely to be a big value hardpoint. Lethal going to get spotted out right there. I thought he saw him before the previous peak, but just like that, Simplicity have locked in those bottom side spawns, and they're going to be able to push up, and that is a quick break as they make light work of the Six Kings squad on the hard point.
I mean, Six Kings went in there for the early rotation, but unfortunately for them, not able to actually anchor down the more favorable spawns. That's going to be right side spawn by Garden. So Simplicity gets those spawns, gets the points down. Mago tries to go in there for the contest, wins that gunfight, but the smoke just not giving them a little bit of an advantage here when it comes to those sightlines.
Cartel's holding that cross as long as he can. 4 in the feed for Simplicity. They continue to rack up the time and open up the map for those OBJ players to start pushing out. 3 straight as Blur trying to cut off a couple of those last players, looking to find scrap time, and Cartels is going to be there to pick it up himself anyway. Finally, a solid feed for Six Kings. We have not even headed back to P1. They already find themselves down by 100. Jesus Saves, Pred on their head, and he is sitting on 15 already.
My goodness, it's just a solid Predator usage coming in from Jesus. Just cuts that rotation here to P4. But we do get to see that 6 Kings already having that control, and the tower control definitely going to be important for those long-range engagements. So far, though, Simplicity try to go in there from the front side, tries to go in there for the 4-man push, but does get stopped when it comes to those stuns. Mago gets a big 3K, just eliminates a majority of the Simplicity players trying to go in there for that right side, but Jesus saves, go in from window with a lot of the engagements there, but still not enough for 6 Kings to try and defend as well.
Somebody get Mago some help. He's sitting on 17. Lethal has 2.
There,
Somebody
boy.
get in the objective.
They got destroyed by like this.
Do it all. Simplicity, just a better team at every turn right now, even with the struggles that Blur has had. They have still looked better at every turn. Raph going to be able to find another one as he sits on 3. They're perfectly set up over here on P5 as they're looking to close this one out as early as they possibly can, but who else but Mago to find the push on through?
I'm gonna say Mago doing everything that he can to try and contest, and the gunfights being won on his end just allowed them to get control finally, even though that Simplicity was able to go in there for that early rotation off to P5, but Lethal gonna be in a really good spot, but unfortunately Kings does spot him. He could have been in a really cheeky spot to eliminate the players coming in from Garden, and now it's still Simplicity. Good contest from their end.
Ooh, nice nade from Blur, takes down Vibin. Mago hops on the objective again. It seems like every time he breaks on through, his teammates on the OBJ just immediately get obliterated, and he's forced to find another route on back. Blur popping out the BK-57. Not the weapon I was expecting to see in COD Mobile Stage 4. He's somehow going to take down Losty with it, though. I guess if it works, make some use of it. Right now, Simplicity giving away a little bit of that lead. Solid hold by 6 Kings right there. Largely at the hands of Mago's slaying. But right now they are in need of a break back in. Utility going to be crucial. And Jesus, big shots through the flashbang.
Lethal though able to go in there for the trade, and now it's going to be blue into the favor of 6 Kings. And we saw that a while ago. This was a pretty heavily contested hill, something that we would expect for P1, a pretty open hill, but Jesus saves power position, gets window control, goes in there for the contest, and just like that, we do get to see a back and forth from both of these teams down. But again, it's just Legacy getting those kills and just 6 Kings winning this gunfight.
I mean, I don't know what's happening in Simplicity right now, but they have not been able to find any openings here on P1. Cartel's completely out of the equation, and they have just gotten shut down at every turn as the feed has been all blue so far through here. Not pretty shots out of Cartels either. Lethal hops up and gives away an audio cue. That should be an easy kill for Raph. So they lock in the top side, get the early setup, but Vibin might be able to spot one out of position. It's going to be Cartels finding the opener, and Simplicity need to get this lead back into control.
This is where Simplicity got a lot of the points down, and it's a good thing that they shut down that pinch from the mid control. So far, though, with 6 Kings, they were kind of getting a lot of the points in P1. I'm kind of surprised that Simplicity just kind of gave it away, the scrap points, into favor of 6 Kings. And hello, no one's going to be on that hard point. It's been open for so long, and finally Simplicity goes and steps on it.
Oh, Mago not going to be able to stay alive in the hard point that time. Simplicity finally an opportunity to build back on the lead that they've seen disappear so quickly. Raph not looking to tell that anytime soon. He's going to sit back in the objective, and right now Jesus locking in the front side, has those gunfights to win. He does exactly that, so Simplicity lock in the final 30 seconds. And a foot race on over to P3 is underway once again. Couple players set up early for 6 Kings. But right now it looks like it's Simplicity in position to lock in spawns.
They are in position for the spawns, yes, and also they're winning when it comes to those rotational gunfights. And AO Raph just making so many big kills. Gets that gunfight in mid, cuts that rotation from 6 Kings, and not just that, has that hunter-killer drone to play with, and now it's still going to be 6 Kings on the point, but for how long will it take, as 3 players from Simplicity are going to be by Garden side.
Nice double kill from Raph, pushes up right there. Kings pops the Annihilator as well, and it looks like that should be enough to lock in the spawns, but it's actually 6 Kings spawning down below. Mago hits the flank right there, trying to find another, but his former teammate Jesus shuts him down. Another big feed for Simplicity is every time 6 Kings want to break their way back into this one, Simplicity are there with a return fire. Cartels, War Machine ready to go. As right now they push across the map and look to see if they can go ahead and win things on P4.
Simplicity did a good job with rotating early here in P5, but 6 Kings, it was the Mago show here in this hill. He was able to kind of just win a lot of the gunfights by himself and allowing the rest of his team to go in there later on. But now as we go set up for P4, again, it was going to be 6 Kings for that early rotation here. Again, we saw that Mago had huge kills from that front side of the map, but looking like they're just going in for full utility here, bringing out all the operators.
Wasted War Machine for Cartels. Legacy's got one, or rather a Purifier to work with. Players hopping up through window as well, so Kings is going to farm some kills, but not going to really open an avenue for them to push into the objective. Legacy spots out one, but solid team shots out of the Simplicity squad to get things shut down, and it's still in their control. Just haven't been able to build the lead in a dominant way, but it looks like this final break on in should be able to set up one final push. But as I say that, 4 make it 5 straight in the feed for 6 Kings, and these boys just will not go away.
And the late clock coming in from Vibin doesn't really get much utility because you only have a few seconds left here, and you have to go set up for next square. You know that Simplicity just wins a lot of their gunfights. Raph brings out the Purify, but does get shut down. Mago, huge gunfight to be won.
Jesus can save you, drops a double kill right there, and that might be enough to open up the hard point. Kings on the outside, not going to be able to find that second kill. And 6 Kings somehow find a way to break back into the hard point once again. Mago with 35 to his name, but Simplicity have made their way back in. And right now all down to Mago, but he gets traded out. Now only 9 seconds needed. And it looks like Simplicity going to be able to edge them out, barring a miracle out of the 6 Kings.
He just saves with the claw. Wants to end it already, and there you go. It was kind of the signs of life from 6 Kings, but it's just mainly because of one player. It was Mago just dealing a lot of the damage, and everyone else just needed to kind of catch up. And I think for their end, only just one player, you cannot just rely on that one person.
Yeah, and it seemed like the teamwork was very solid, but Lethal was lagging behind big time. He finished with 15 kills or something like that. And once again, it's a team esport. You got to be bringing your A game with all 5 players, and it just didn't seem like 6 Kings quite had that. Next, getting ready for the search and destroy. Realistically, we didn't think there was much of a chance that they would be able to take that first hardpoint map anyway, so the series not over by any stretch of the imagination. There were definitely shaky points in it for Simplicity. I think especially the struggles with Blur, obviously trying to adjust to a different team, a different role, still looking to get going, but the rest of the squad was definitely on point. And you can see for Simplicity, just consistency across the board that was not there for 6 Kings.
Cartels, 1 minute on the hill time. Jesus saves 149, and you know he wants to be that OBJ player. He can definitely get a lot of that. And also when it comes to those kills, every single time, only Blur is actually going to be on a neutral standing ground when it comes to those kills on the side of this team. So Simplicity looking super solid right now in this hard point, and that pick of Arsenal, I feel like was a really smart move for them.
Yeah, no question about it. There are 2 players going double negative for that 6 King squad. So those guys have got to bounce back. Getting ready to head into the Search and Destroy Express. Obviously one that's still newer to a lot of the players, but you've had enough time to be able to get the reps in, and they're going to be looking to see if they can make Simplicity pay. I think, once again, you got to have eyes on Mago. Pretty phenomenal sniper, and you would anticipate that he's going to play a big role on this map as well.
Now, it makes me curious as to how 6 Kings was able to beat ARP a while ago. was it in the S&Ds or which game it is, which map, but I'm really dying for that later on. But when it comes to the performance right now of Six Kings, looking very shaken that hard point. But like what we know, you still have 2 more chances to try and flip things around. And in that S&D, I'm just glad that Tunisia's off the map for them because that is their worst map so far. And Meltdown being part of Express rather being part of the pool, I feel like was their pick because they know that Simplicity lost it up against Tribe 3-7. But it is a Tribe Gaming that is the #1 team right now so far.
They are, but Simplicity did not look strong at all on that one. I would say of all the maps that they played, that was probably the one that they looked the weakest. And I think we'll see whether or not the Simplicity roster has put in the work to look at the VODs and see where those mistakes are coming through, because ultimately that's what's going to separate the good teams from the great teams in this competition. Definitely a lot of room for improvement. Not quite sure what to expect out of Six Kings on this one, like we said, but definitely a solid map pick, I would say.
And for Simplicity, like when it comes to the players that needs to step up, Blur is the person that stepped up here in this Express map. He had 3 first bloods that definitely could change the tide of a game, and he's able to utilize that 13 kills for him. So if he's able to replicate what happened in that Tribe game, I feel like that is a good starting point for this team. Again, this is going to be very difficult for Six Kings because they haven't played here yet. So that's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah. No question about it. Obviously, eyes on the snipers for both sides. It's been interesting because Jesus Can Save You for the longest time was known as like the go-to main sniper for whatever squad he was on. But he's been in a little bit more of a flexible role, especially with him being one of the SMG players. Not something we necessarily always see him do, and not necessarily something the squad may need him to do, just depending on what the map requires. So we'll see what he's going to be doing for them on map 1, but it looks like we are good to go here in map number 2.
All right. Express could be really, really quick here. It can steamroll out of control. And now Simplicity going in for the defensive side and Six Kings going in for the attack. It really is a matter of vibing if they can open up that space for his team.
Lethal gets pushed up. Does find the opener. It's Chaos over on the B side. Who will come out on top? It's not Six Kings. Mago, 1 HP. Trying to play his life here against the 2 remaining Simplicity players. Mago's going to cross. And it looks like not going to be able to spot out anybody. Blur in the top side. Going to play a cheeky angle. And you got 2 snipers remaining to go up against an SMG.
I like the player from Simplicity. You just gotta play your angles right. They do have the snipers. They have the advantage of that range. And now for Mago, needs to find a way to retrieve the bomb, but wants to clear out the angles first, looking like wants to go through arrivals. But you get to see that Kings actually has that spot down, spots Mago. And that is a situation that you do not want to be in. Mago needs to find a way to retrieve the bomb. 55 seconds left on the clock.
He's got all the time in the world, and I think especially if you know there's a sniper set up in the top side, why not just
pick up the bomb?
Okay. Well, that ends the round quickly. Simplicity take the first as both snipers strike. Good Lord. I should have had a second cup of coffee.
Bro, it's 3:22 in the morning right now. But the gameplay is keeping us awake, keeping us alive, and what a way to start off your first opening round. Simplicity gets that first pick, but Legacy gets 1 kill, so that evens it out just a tiny bit. Legacy goes down, and it's still chaotic here in mid.
2 for 2 trades off the start. Lethal bomb in hand. That is a big time overpeak out of Vibin, and Blur's going to make you pay every time off of that one. All the way down to Lethal early in this one. And looking like another quick round. They didn't want to be? You heard the shots? No? So never mind. Give Blur the opportunity. See if he can find the kill. Yes, he can. Simplicity off to a hot start in this one.
And if you're Six Kings, when you're going there aggressive in through Bravo, you know it's not working out for you. You need to get that information first, play your utility, get that information from that util with how many players from Simplicity are going to be there. Either that or go for Alpha. And now, speaking of going for Alpha, but they almost forgot the bomb. Losty finally retrieves it. And now that actually gives Simplicity enough time to kind of just reevaluate and possibly go in there for that pinch. But that player number 3, that's Jesus Can Save, is so deep into departure that could actually get a kill.
Oh, he doesn't see Losty right there. Nearly finds the kill anyway. That was a little bit closer than need be, but you find the flanker, you do damage. Still got to deal with Blur in the top side, likely peeking through one of those nasty little angles toward the B side. Raph going to be able to take down Legacy and equalize into a 4v4.
This is the best case scenario for 6 Kings, where everyone else from Simplicity a little bit far away. The only person that could deal some damage is Blur, but he is going to be smoked out. Nade perfectly cooked, but it's still going to be planted right now. 6 Kings kind of going for that post-plant setup right now, and now it's time against Simplicity.
Blur's going to go ahead and hop out. Mago, likely first encounter right here. I don't think he sees his shoulder. No. Blur's going to push all the way across. Now he's got to win the sniper battle onto Lethal up in the top side. Lethal's going to take him down. Mago finds another, and with that, it should be an opportunity for 6 Kings to take the round. But 2 kills for Raph, the third for Kings. He hops the bomb in time, and that's round number 3 for Simplicity.
What seemed like a solid defensive setup coming in from 6 Kings after that post-plant. Simplicity just found a way, especially with that R9. Raph with those huge kills. Doesn't really matter. The clock was against them. And it's just really mechanical skills at this point. Right now, Simplicity just showing a masterclass when it comes to that.
Well, they don't want to run into the train right there, so they're going to opt for a absolute bloodbath over here on the B side. They're forced all the way back, and they lose a player in the process. Exactly what Simplicity had hoped out of that encounter, and you get Raph pushed way up into their side as well. Should be a freebie for him, but he's sniffed out by Losty. Vibin finds one onto Blur, and the rough start for 6 Kings is quickly regained.
It's just a matter of where they decide to go in for the plant. That's player number 3 that could give that information that, okay, Alpha's going to be free. Maybe we can go plant here. Possibly just spot that one player. That's going to be Kings on the snipe, but seems like that B commit still might be in the option. Losty spots YKRM, good in hand. Possibility to get that second one. No, it's not going to be good. Kings with a fast quick scope. Huh.
Well, Jesus gets traded out quickly right there. 6 Kings finally find around here in the Express Search and Destroy. They bounce back. It was definitely an unorthodox one, but whatever you got to do to find the win. Losty with the KRM. Definitely an opportunity to play some cheeky angles inside ticket.
Most definitely. Especially when you're trying to go up against Raph with the R9. So that is a good response coming in from 6 Kings. So we like to see those. Bomb carrier, though, in a really tight spot. If he does get spotted by that one player and Jesus saves, gets the first blood. Losty with the trade. Now the bomb carrier needs to go in there for the pickup, but Blur takes him out. And like what we mentioned already, the bomb carrier was a little bit too far away from his teammates, and now the bomb in a really bad position.
Well, Blur up in the top side still has an ability to make life miserable for 6 Kings. Has got to get dealt with only 2 players remaining.
Enemy has the bomb.
Gonna be tough. They pick up the bomb right here. Make their way on up toward the bomb site, but there's a shotgun waiting for you on the opposite side of that wall. Mago going to be able to spot out one. Still 3 players to make it 2 left to deal with, and Blur is there, Deagle in hand, as Simplicity extend the lead back out to 3.
I love how Raph just plays just those tight corners like you should when you have a shotgun in hand. And Simplicity just doing a good job at not even over-aggressing, just getting those picks, being really patient. And 6 Kings just kind of paid the price for putting the bomb carrier a little bit too far off. And now, just one player going in there deep. It's Mago. Tried to go in there for the infiltration, but Kings just punishes him.
It's been interesting seeing how quickly Kings has made this transition to the sniper role, but definitely making a big impact already. And there's Blur, the other sniper, able to pick off Lethal. Just like that. Man advantage. Losty bomb in hand, but he's content to lurk in the corridors. He's got a shotgun waiting for him if he looks to make a push over toward that B side.
I mean, this play coming in from 6 Kings is kind of putting a lot of question marks right now. You send just one player, try to get that information in mid, and once he goes down, That could have given the Simplicity, okay, it could be a B hit, but they were still so passive in spawn that allowed Raph to actually go in there pretty deep. And now, again, a B push though, both of these teams, but Cartels wins a gunfight, bomb is gonna go down.
I don't know how he won that one. Flashbang over top, does connect on to Kings, traded out immediately, and once again, it's going to be Simplicity with the life advantage. Blur takes down Vibin, and just slowly picking apart this 6 King squad at every turn. They'll now have an opportunity to head over to the offensive side.
Defend the
Now let's see what 6 Kings can do being on the defense. Full 3-man push actually coming in from Simplicity on that end. Gonna be greeted by just 1 player. 2 players still remain here in Arrivals, and it's still going to be Simplicity with the first frags.
First three frags, for a matter of fact. Lossie's going to try to get aggressive right here, makes him pay for 1, but immediately traded out, and now all down to Vibin. Sniper in hand, and I don't see the Simplicity players peeking off these angles anytime soon. Does take down Blur, but still so little time with the amount of distance that he's got to traverse right here, and it would take a colossal collapse for Simplicity, but the collapse has begun. Flashbang goes across, Raph is in position, and now Simplicity are the ones in position to shut this one down in only 8 rounds.
And with 6 Kings in that defensive setup, there was so much reluctance. I don't know why those 2 players just stayed there by Arrivals, where only 1 person actually went in there for that Bravo defense, and a lot of these reluctance, a lot of the time, they pay for the price. And now Simplicity chose to go in through Train, trying to go in for that A site instead. Raph not gonna commit here, puts down the trophy first though. Needs to make sure that it's gonna be clear, and so far the plant is gonna go down.
Kings on flank watch right now. Collapse has begun for 6 Kings. Getting pushed in right here. Blur's gonna be able to find the opener. Shotguns galore on the inside of Train. Lethal spotted out. Mago doing the best that he can to try to clutch up in this round. He's going to be able to find 2, but it's still only enough to even it into a 3v3, and you got to deal with Raph on the inside of the Train. King's going to take him down, and with that, should be enough time for Simplicity to sit back, but 2 players picked, all down to Kings. Legacy going to try to hop the bomb right here. Will he have enough time? I think he hopped off it a little too soon, and right now Kings should be able to take him down. Missed the initial shot, but hits the follow-up, and Simplicity take the 2-0 lead.
That was big coming in from Kings, man. I mean, he was all so close to being Vagued at that point. I'm getting war flashbacks at that moment that Vague didn't take that shot when he was up in tower, right? So it's a good thing. Shots connected. I feel like if he was half a second late, it would have been a win coming in from 6 Kings. But it's just a masterclass right now from Simplicity, just showing everyone that they have just went back to the drawing board. They did their adjustments up against that Tribe Gaming team, and they learned their lesson. Everything was nice. Everything was set up, and they were capitalizing on 6 Kings and their mistakes.
Yeah, no question. The snipers looked absolutely phenomenal at every turn, and realistically, just very few misses outside maybe that first shot in the last round for Kings. He and Blur lead the way, combined for 20 kills. And once again, Lethal really struggling for 6 Kings. Just it's difficult to win 4v5 in this competition, let alone do it against one of the top 3 teams.
And I think in that round, Kings had 4 kills. It's just hard to just do something like that to stop a force like that when your sniper isn't really doing much work for you and you're supposed to create that space for your team. But there was no response at all. I didn't really see much utility usage coming in from 6 Kings. There was so much reluctance when it comes to both defense and offense that it makes me question that I feel like Control might be a fast one at this point.
I hate to say it, but I think you might be right. We got Crossroads Strike. Yeah, this is one that definitely...
No, it's Raid.
It's Raid.
Yeah,
okay.
It's Raid.
Well, the Raid is not going to snowball as quickly, so maybe a little bit of a better chance for 6 Kings. Obviously, I feel like we kind of got to throw the offense-defense narrative out the window. I feel like there's no side advantage anymore.
We're going to forget about that, especially that last game that you guys casted. But this makes me question, how did 6 Kings beat ARP? Is Simplicity just that good? Everything
Yes.
is kind of just jumbled up right
Simplicity-
now, but
Simplicity are that good.
yeah, they are that good.
And ARP are not
ARP
really
just not that good. It makes me think, is Luminosity even
that's
good?
my answer.
I love this. This is the drama that we want here in NA, but we're going to start things off with Simplicity on the defense and Six Kings on the offense. Lethal still sticking to that sniper. Will try to connect when it comes to it. Does deal a little bit of damage though, as it's still going to be Six Kings going in for the earlier objective here in Alpha.
All right. Couple early kills. Blur. Nasty shot on the mug. Oh, I was about to say, Vibin, you can't let him take you down right there. They get pushed on the A objective early. Solid progress here. Holding that life advantage as well. And it looks like Simplicity were not ready for this initial push. Going to be able to take a couple of those lives, but not going to be able to stop that A capture. And Legacy, the OBJ man, big plays right here as Blur finally starting to fire back for Simplicity.
Man, and because of Legacy, he just could not be stopped, but could not go for the third tick of progress. But it's a good thing that Vibin is going to be right there. Kings, though, applying that pressure down. It's a 2v1 here in Alpha, and if you're going to be Six Kings, you go step on it when it comes to that B push. You only have to worry about that one player down, and the third tick of progress, rather, not going to be able to be finished, though. As I feel like that pressure at Alpha, once they started losing, probably should have rotated fast into B.
No question about it. You want to get that last tick locked in. They're not going to be able to do it right here. Now the life lead has formed for Simplicity, and Blur is just making them pay. Absolutely bullying through the smoke, no less. Another one. He's going to take down Legacy. This is the only POV I want. Lethal finally stops him. But a one-man wrecking crew as that life lead for Six Kings disappeared so fast.
The wrecking ball of Simplicity, my goodness. This guy was on a 4 spree. And not just that, was able to get rid of that third tick of progression. And also, you can see the life disparity right now, 15-6. And now Six Kings has no progress whatsoever in Bravo, where they could have had that opportunity a while ago in that early game. And Simplicity has a really good defensive setup right now for B.
All right. Well, 11 life lead. Realistically, no hope for Six Kings in this one, despite the strong start that they had. Cartel's going to pick 2, maybe 3. And just like that, all down to Lethal. He's going to get spotted out right there. That was a round that started off shaky and then went sideways quickly for Six Kings.
Complete 180. I mean, that was a hot start. They were able to get the fast second tick of progress, almost getting that third, and everyone else was kind of chilling by gallery, trying to find a way to, are we going to go for Bravo, or are we going to be going defending for A? And you cannot have that reluctance here, and so far we've seen that in that S&D, and looking like in this control as well. Now, fast push coming in from Simplicity, going in for a more traditional outlook coming in for Bravo, as the fight for mid is definitely going to be more towards the favor of Six Kings, though.
Kings started that round on a goose egg, but immediately bounces back with the 2 opening kills, and now it looks like the spawn trap may be underway shortly. Jesus is going to get shut down right there, and Simplicity not getting overly aggressive right here, which I like, because I think we see a lot of teams see the opportunity to set up the spawn trap, absolutely full send it, and then commit a lot of utility with no real return on investment. Gravity Vortex right there. How is Losty not
dead?
How did the Gravity
I have
Vortex not
no
suck it?
idea.
I don't. That didn't make any sense to me, but fortunately for Six Kings, they benefit from it. Lethal finally starting to fire back right here and have a little snipe off with Kings.
Life lead slowly getting lost by Simplicity right now, and it is just a misplay of that Gravity Vortex, the misplay of those Hunter-Killer drones. There was 2 on the sky and got nobody. And right now, they're trying to go in for that pool control, but you see play number 3, Mago trying to go from Zig, trying to get those informations down, and also that mid control is going to be important. He does win those. Only 3 lives in between them, but a minute on the clock, and Simplicity can just play for picks, especially with their snipers.
What is Vibin doing? I don't know if he's making hand signals or something, but if you're Simplicity, you will gladly take it. Now up 5 lives right here. So gonna make your way over that A objective. Raph pushes, gets that solid kitchen control, but Sparrow fires back. Mago trying to go big right here. Hasn't had quite the same game number 3 as he did in the first couple. He fires back, but Cartels is there and a little bit more accurate with it. Able to find one with MW11. And now that life lead has built along with some early control over here on A.
And it's a good thing that Simplicity was able to just kind of control Kitchen and Money Room as well. An essential defensive setup for Six Kings, but Mago unfortunately goes down. That just allows the life to just tumble so quickly. Jesus save. Speaking of, winning a lot of the gunfights here. Just 1 versus 9 and second tick of progress already done here. And this should be done and easy for Simplicity. Gonna be up 2-0, and not just that, just that one more round to win this up against Six Kings.
I know Six Kings took the win against ARP, but they simply look outmatched right now across the board. The gun skill, the rotations, the team push is just so much better for this Simplicity squad. They've got an opportunity to win this one in 3. Lethal opens things up with a kill onto Kings. Legacy spots one over the top. No kills for either player quite yet. Lethal finally doing some damage with that sniper in hand. A little bit of operator investment here as well as Cartels looking to sniff out one more. Still got to deal with Mago up in that top laundry side as Vibin picks up another.
And now Six Kings, pretty good setup right now coming in from Bravo. So far, they're going to be taking that first tick of progress down. Still good when it comes to the lives as well. And they're going to be having this Bravo for free. Except that Cartel's going to try to go and infiltrate. But a 3v1 situation happening right now in Gallery. They may be able to stop any kind of rotation after Six Kings actually gets this Bravo flag, and they finally do. So that is going to be signs of life, the best performance we've seen from Six Kings so far. And now what they have to do is win those rotational gunfights. And are you going to go for that kitchen control? Because that's going to be important. Legacy, though, with the Purifier, has a possibility to apply a lot of damage here.
Only up 2 kills and trying to capture the A side that they've had significantly more difficulty with. This is still not looking great for Six Kings. They're likely going to have to invest some operators right here if they want to be able to make the push across. And I'm not sure that they know that Blur is on the outside of Cabana right now waiting. We'll see if he's able to get the better of Mago. He is not. And that opening kill could be the doorway that Six Kings are looking for. Vibin's going to be able to find one onto Raph as well. And Jesus spots out Mago on the low ground, but you can't allow them to get too much time locked in here. 2 players to watch the top side. Cartel somehow staying alive, but you've got to deal with that one player on the objective, and finally Lethal taken down.
My goodness, I mean, they were trying to go in for that kitchen control, and Money Room Cartels was being so pesky here in mid. And we already know that kitchen control is going to be essential to try to capture that alpha flag. Legacy goes in there for the shots, finally wins it. Has to worry about one more player, that's going to be Raph. But with 2 players here, you'd expect that they go in there together, but no. Vibin still loses that gunfight.
Call him a movement god for a reason. Raph just making life miserable for the Six Kings. And now pops the Purifier. It actually goes to waste right there. And an opportunity, a glimmer of hope for Six Kings to stay in this one. It's going to be 1 snipe for Blur. Connects on to Mago. Jesus takes one down as well. Jesus going to get spotted out, but Legacy doesn't want to overpeak. So now he's forced back. And time very much becoming an issue.
Where's the info? You already know that Jesus Saves is already going to be there by Pizza, and you still not are able to get rid of him. He still gets those kills. Where's the comms? There were 2 people that were just walking past him, and now it's 2 lives to 6 where you could have had it, and just 2 operators that you could have used. A 1v5 situation, and looking like this is not going to be doable for Mago to try and clutch up.
All right, well, unfortunate for the Six Kings as we have yet another 3-0 to finish out the night. And Simplicity definitely asserting themselves as one of the top teams still in North America. And you got to think with Jesus Can Save You back in the starting lineup, maybe feeling a little bit more comfortable with where they stand.
That is confidence right there. We'd like to see it from Simplicity, and this team looks super solid right now. I feel like they're on the road to becoming that top 3 team, or even top 2-3 here for NA, but it is just a question of Six Kings as to where they at this competition, because so far it has been 50-50. Yes, you had such a high when it comes to getting rid of ARP, winning those games, but this is such a tremendous loss coming in from them as well.
Yeah, I think it shows you that despite the fact that NA is definitely very talented, there's definitely a sizable skill gap between the top and the bottom, and even with ARP maybe not being quite what we expected, it also shows how good these top rosters are. So, Simplicity stepping things up. Chris, one more final 3-0 to close out the night.
Yeah, didn't see another 3-0 coming, but I did see Blur popping off. I saw it in the future. Didn't think it was with the sniper rifle, though. Ridiculous stuff there in the game 3. And you can see the stats. Jesus Saves comes in, leads his team to more success. Blur right behind him, the whole team chiming in. What was your takeaway from this series, Beef Mommy? Is Jesus Saves the guy you need in this roster from here on out?
Jesus took the wheel in this one.
I like that.
Performed so well in every single game mode. He was on point. Everyone else too was really on point. So again, we're looking at you, Jesus. He was a really good pickup for this team, so I'm really impressed.
Impressive 6-man coming in and gives his team back-to-back dubs, as you're now going to see Simplicity in the hunt for a top 3 spot. We got to update the leaderboard here in just a moment, but Alan, you and I were watching in the green room, and we were kind of blown away by the talent on this team. Is there one player to watch moving forward? Is this a team effort? What do we need to see if Simplicity is maybe going to knock down a squad like Tribe or Luminosity?
I don't think this Simplicity team can look to the future and say that this one player has to pop off for us to win. I think this has to be a collective 5-man effort from here on out, because I think that we see a good amount of surprise from the players that maybe don't necessarily always demand the spotlight. But since adding in Jesus Can Save You, it's really turned this squad around, and I think that's a collective thing. Sure, we saw some great individual moments from him. We saw some unbelievable snipes out of Blur. Yep. But I think it's the thing about this squad is that they're very dynamic. You've got Blur who can pop into things like a Holger. He can also pop up the sniper rifle and be a major threat. I also think Kings had a great series outside of him not having to do much in that control. So that's, I think, one of the things that you look at and you say, yes, we trust the system, not an individual, to be our win condition day in and day out.
Yeah, Kings at one point had 0 kills.
He was just hanging out, dude.
6 minutes into the game. Still gets the dub. Congratulations, Simplicity. Now 2-1 is going to be tied there for 3rd place. And remember, as we look back on today, there were a lot of close matches. Now, the end result, few 3-0s, but that first match, I think, is the stellar match of the day. LG versus Devious. Bobby, we were kind of shocked that Devious was able to give LG the run they did.
Yeah, no question about it. And realistically, that could have been a Devious series winner at least a map 5. Multiple small decisions that stacked up in a big way to go the favor of LG, but man, Devious looked really, really solid right there. And that's a roster full of talent that I've expected for a while. Had the potential to do big things. I'm excited to see if they can continue to build on what they have.
It was a fantastic showing from Tribe against Limited. You see another win for DICE as they took down ARP, and now ARP and Limited at the bottom of that leaderboard. Everyone else still very much in the mix. Let's get the final thoughts here on day 2 of NA, starting with you, Alan. What do you take away?
I'm pumped to see an LG Tribe matchup because LG is not looking as convincing for a second time out than we would have liked to have seen, whereas Tribe have really taken the conversation in my mind. And then I think between Devious, DICE, and Simplicity, all 3 of those teams have top 4 caliber, the gameplay built into their system.
Devious or Simplicity or DICE, who do you think is the 3rd best team behind Luminosity and Tribe right now?
Realistically, I think still Simplicity. I think the combination of talent and the skill and the leadership that they have is going to be more than enough to carry them to that. I think Devious can make some noise, but I think they're going to have a tough time with DICE as well. So I'm going to go, despite how strong Devious looked today, probably Simplicity, DICE, Devious.
Beef Mommy, the competition is getting tight. We are nearing the end here of the NA region. Looking forward, what do you want to see from the remaining teams?
We're already halfway there, and this is a do-or-die situation for the teams who are trying to make it into that top 4 to try and get into the playoffs. So one thing that these bottom bracket teams need to really worry about is you don't have enough time. You need to find that pressure, because if you don't adapt that quick, you're going to get eaten up. We saw it a while ago in ARP. We thought they're going to be good, but it's not going to work out for them.
Not going to work out. Get your stuff together and fix it right now. It's game time. Thank you all for tuning in. They're kicking me off air. But before you go, make sure you follow all of the social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and, of course, follow my crew. We got Beef Mum, Bobby Plays, I Hold Shift, I'm MLG Puckett, and I'm not done. We got more broadcasts coming your way. EU still in the books. We got NA, more games coming as well. We'll see you again here for another round of Call of Duty Mobile. It's the Snapdragon Pro Series. Thanks for watching.
Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. I don't got the time, put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win, I won't lose the game. This is my year, I ain't gonna break. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side.
Another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal.
Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here.
On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true, where everything you want can be yours, if and only if you're willing to work for them, you're willing to hurt for them, but most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting? It's hot. Look what I got. Whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast. I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy, and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha, yeah, I'm a work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha, yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what is meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt. Push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex.